Today we're going to talk about private equity and how you can profit massively just like the big banks do. So what is it? It's for people who want mortgages who either A, do not want to go through the standard banks, or two, cannot get approved for from the typical banks, such as small businesses, some second mortgages, maybe renovation loans, those sort of things. Now the best part is, especially for us, is the house is actually used as collateral against the loan. So our risk is quite low for losing our capital. Now these opportunities can either come in P2P or peer-to-peer lending, where you're loaning money direct to one customer, or there's funds set up that have a group of mortgages and you can actually invest dollar amounts into the fund. So what are the pros of private equity? Well, there's three. First pro is it's a very steady stream of income. Once you have it set up, you think of mortgages, they're paid monthly. So a person pays interest on that loan every month. That then gets paid to you. So every month your capital or your loan amount is going down, and you're also getting paid an interest amount as well. So it's de-risking both the amount of capital outlay you have, and you're also getting a steady stream of interest income. Second one, and that's the whole point of this channel, is it's extremely passive. Now, once you set up your account and you've agreed on the lender and the terms and everything else, you literally just sit back and check your monthly statements to see your money start to roll in. There's very little to do after that. The third one, the principal. Okay, so the principal that you have outlaid doesn't actually fluctuate, like the stock markets do, right? So you have a set amount of capital that you've loaned out every month that then gets paid down, which means you can take that principal that you're getting paid, invest it elsewhere, and also get the interest. Now, three cons, all right? Let's balance it out. So the first one is it's very illiquid, okay? So when you either invest in a fund or P2P, you're committing to at least a year, if not a couple years, of your money is tied up until that loan is paid off. And your money can get tied up even longer if your borrower defaults and it goes to court and the house has to sell and blah, 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 blah. Risks of that are quite low, but it's a risk nonetheless. Number two, so it's taxed differently, right? So it's interest income versus capital gains income. Now I'm not going to go into that, but have a quick Google search and see how it applies to your national tax laws. Now the third one is if you are P2P, so direct to one borrower, that means that you only have one borrower that all of your funds are with. So which means it's all tied up in that one house, it's all tied up in that one borrower. If anything happens to that borrower, then there could either be significant delays to when you get your capital, or you could possibly lose out on some of your capital depending on the default size and so forth. So there is a bit of a risk to that. Now there's ways to mitigate it with funds and maybe having multiple mortgages across different borrowers and kind of do your own fund that way, but it is a third con. Now, what do you want to look for when you're looking for these borrowers, either online through the various websites or funds? Okay, so there's three things I like to look out for. Number one is the credit score, all right? Depending on their credit score, depends on how worthy and what the probability is they are going to pay you back or not, right? So first is credit score. Second is a bunch of ratios, right? So first one is debt to income ratio. So how much debt do they already have compared to how much do they make right now? And depending on what that ratio is, then it either is less risky or more risky for that borrower. Third one, now this one is debatable, but I like to also look at their careers. So what do they do for work? If it's usually a career that involves some sort of a bachelor's degree or university, I usually weigh that a little bit higher, but it's not the final decision. It's just in a tie-breaking situation, I do look at that. Now, let's talk some examples. Okay, so there's GoPeer, which you can do direct, peer-to-peer investing. So you just open up a free account, you start looking through, what loans are available, the credit scores, all that good stuff, see if any of it matches your risk profile. The second one that I've started looking at is CMI. So it's more of a Canadian-based mortgage company. They're based out of Ontario, I believe. And they have two. So if you're an accredited investor, you can do P2P, or they have 3 different funds, which is pretty cool. There's a low risk fund, medium risk fund, and a high risk fund. Now the returns are about 5 to 6% a year on low risk, which is usually, most first mortgages. The medium one is a combination of first mortgages and second mortgages, and that is around 7 to 9% return, so very good. And then the last one, high risk, is probably 60 or 70% second mortgages, and that is returns of 9 to 11%, so it's quite well. So I encourage you to look up both of those websites. I'll put those in the links below. Please don't forget to hit the subscribe button and the like button because there's more videos coming, so stay alerted to those. And until next time.